Hey, hi, good morning everyone. So we're going to start from the inventory file and continue with the Ansible ad hoc command. So so let's see how we going to this inventory going to refer to the your host inventory, your system inventory. So let's create this. So I'm going to use sudo vim editor and this sudo vim etc hosts, sorry, etc host, and followed by your password, insert I, going to be insert. Now you can do this by simply, so we are doing two things, not only inventory addition, we are going to do DNS resolution. This is locally it's going to be happened here. So whatever the IP we have two set of IP. First router, second we have host. So you can write router 192.168.122 LAN we have. So 10 will be the R1. Same way 192.168.122.20 will be R2, and then 192.168.122.30 will be my R3. If you refer to topology, I'm not going to ask you again and again. Please remember these IPs. Now these are the three routers IP. Now we have subnet, LAN subnet with the 56 LAN subnet. So 192.168.56 for the my LAN if you refer the automation topology. So LAN we have 11 is a server 1 gen serve, I think that's a gen serve I given as a domain name, means the host resolution, and another one I have given 192.168.56.12 with the, that's a support serve. Now I have 192.168.56 LAN 101, that's for general system. Okay, and then last we have, but according to your how many desktop and server you have created, that many you can do inventory, otherwise this will be fail. For those it's not available, gem server and support server, sorry, system. Yes, so we have four hosts with the LAN 56 and 122 for the routers. Okay, so this is my inventory what we have. So let's create this. Escape, right, quit, and so we have inventory now available with the system. How do you test this inventory is on or not? So you have to do ping to this servers. So let's, if I'm going to ping with the name, it's supposed to pingable. Wow, it's a pinging, you can see. So you can start your system this way. Please on your system and do this inventory along with me, because for these are the basic thing where you should be prepared. Any inventory you supposed to ready with this. And then we have support system, then we have generic system. So you can see that all are this name resolution by not IP. I'm able to ping by name resolution. Now you will check for the routers also on, so I'm able to ping using the inventory R1, ping R1, we have given inventory here R1. Let me ping first 192.168.122.10. Okay, so ping R1. Okay, sorry, in ping I used P is a capital, that's why. So Linux, you have to be very sensible with your caps lock R2, and then we have R3. So okay guys, now we have to see the challenge. Yesterday, means last class, we saw the challenge if I'm able to Ansible module able to ping or not. So what is the first thing do you need for Ansible? Let's start from beginning and get it revised for 5 minutes. What we have done, first command was Ansible list host. How many do you have a host? In that I'm going to do all. You can see the empty, the provide the host list is empty. This is not referred to the system inventory. This is entire different inventory. It's content into the Ansible file hierarchy. What is a Ansible file hierarchy? So if you check the Ansible file hierarchy, you can go to ls and etc followed by the Ansible. You can check these are the hierarchy. In Ansible folder you have three files: Ansible conf, host and role. So we will discuss about each and every component, and we're going to understand 100% comfortable about this terminology and each and every file system, each and every component elements about all these three by the end of the Ansible class. Now let's do first. I'm going to start with the Ansible host. This is an inventory file. Here whatsoever you do the inventory, it's going to refer to the Ansible configuration file by default. Okay, let's do the inventory in the host, Ansible host. If you're not going to do a host here, he will not understand the any host. It's a inventory. It's supposed to be mentioned in inventory, and this is called implicit inventory. There is two inventory: implicit, Ansible having two inventory. Implicit means by default within the Ansible. Okay, and I will see that explicit inventory, that you have to create explicitly according to your organization requirement, and you can combine with the command. You can take the effects of. We will see in today's class, in upcoming classes, within half an hour. Don't worry about that. So let's understand about the implicit inventory. Okay, so what is implicit inventory? How do I edit? So you have to do the classes, create the class and followed by that. So the command will be sudo beam, the followed the same path what we wrote here, etc Ansible, then followed by the file name host. So I will, and okay, so I will go in insert mode and we are start updating. So here you can see examples are given. If you able to see web servers and XYZ, the example, either you give the host name or either you will give the IP. We will resolve this host name and IP. We will see both the example. So today we are going to concentrate only on the IP. Later on we will see what are the advantage of giving the host name using the DNS, how we are going to integrate with the DNS. So let's do that. So I will create my one class. This is class creation with the square bracket. So class says what class. So first I will give my router class. Router is a class. So you can call later in Ansible inventory, this entire class, if you want to do the some work, some information want to gather, the entire router class, like this route class, switch class, firewall class, f5. Okay, in that also you can create subclasses like L2 switch, L3 switch, okay, distributed switch, X switch, a spine switch, or the leaf switches. You can create different class of according to your industrial requirement, how you going to call, or you can create the class as a model wise, Nexus 3K, Nexus 5K, or 3850 2960X. So this class refer to this. Okay, so let's I'm going to show you in at very small here. We have three router is a one class. So what's the benefit later on? 122 dot, and I'm using only the IP, not domain name here. 192.168.120. Please practice like this so that you're going to understand. By practice only you are able to comfortable in this, otherwise not. This is one class for router. Then I will create another class for host. In a host I can create the what you can say, the servers and the desktop. But right now we have only four hosts, and you guys going to practice on that. This is more than enough. You understand the hierarchy of the classes. So host says as 192.168.56 dot we have 11, and 192.168.56 that 12. This is second server, and then 192.168.56 is the first system, 101, and we have 192.168.56.102. So we have two PC, two server, and three router. So all the servers and PC I kept as a group class called host, whereas a router switches it's a, so we have created two classes. Now I'm going to escape and colon followed by the right. Okay, so let's check what do we have. So do we have to check Ansible host by checking? So you are listed with the host. So we have three routers in the list, and this Ansible list host, it's supposed to reflect, then only your Ansible box going to work. Clear guys? Till here?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, let's move to the next level of stuff. What is next? So I'm going to take my whiteboard. Here you concentrate here. What is the main portion, main box, building blocks of the Ansible? That is called module. I already discussed. So, module having everything. You have to play with the module. If you are expert to understand module, remaining thing, module going to integrate with the all the attributes and element and bring your desired output. So modules having what are things? First we integrate with the Ansible keyword. Okay, and we start from the Ansible keyword, and module going to call required what, something called inventory, which we already make the inventory. Inventory will be anything from the router, switches, firewall, your servers, your systems, all are in system or networking device comes under the inventory. You have to classify inventory according to your requirement. Okay, so it's collect the information from the inventory, and what they need, something called argument.
I'll
Arguments,
show you one question.
yes.
Okay, so when we are defining inventory, so do we need to add these routers and hosts in both the inventory? I mean, the Ansible entry and the host entry in both, or only in the Ansible
Okay,
inventory?
excellent question. My dear, you should not. do the inventory of the local host region, because I don't have DNS server in this scenario, but in real organization we have dedicated DNS infrastructure. You don't think that? Do you have? Okay. So if you have inventory in DNS with the router switches, so no need to do this local inventory. Why I'm doing here? Because of DNS. If I will ping
Okay.
R1, it's supposed to ping that IP.
Okay, so you mean suppose if we have if we would have DNS server, then I can only add the inventory in the local host. So it will.
No, you have to just create your inventory in Ansible.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
let me explain you here. What are the three things you need to remember in inventory? Very excellent question. Please concentrate. He asked me, Asutosh, we have system inventory first, right? Second, we have Ansible inventory, right, Naval?
Yes.
So system inventory you should not do. You should not do because I don't have DNS dedicated here. So I use as a local system as a DNS name resolution. That's all.
Okay. Mm,
Period.
okay.
This is anyhow. This is not related to my inventory. So we have Ansible two inventory, two type of inventory. That's called explicit and implicit. So we are talking right now implicit. Okay, implicit inventory. Then we will talk about the explicit in the coming classes. Okay, we are concentrating implicit inventory. What do you mean implicit inventory? The host file within the Ansible folder. If you are doing anything
Mm,
and you can see the list with the implicit as well as explicit with the same command. But the positions of the host inventory, right now I have edited the host under the
mhm.
Ansible, right?
All right.
This
Because
is
I
called
have
implicit.
okay, I have also just checked again the inventory after adding these entry in my inventory, but still I can see the implicit inventory only like unsible.conf, host and roles.
Okay, yes, because this is individual. You can see that. I have done the system inventory. This is just I show you these are the two different inventory. Don't get confused.
Mm,
Someone going to do the inventory entry or the system inventory and you are thinking it's going to come into the Ansible. It's not going to happen. You have to do implicit Ansible inventory if you want to see, or either the explicit inventory. Anyone you have to. Okay, got it?
o- Okay, because now I can see in explicit inventory 7 hosts are there. I have just added.
I did not explain you yet how you have to create explicit. You can do only the implicit one. Okay, now concentrate about the argument. What is the argument? Argument says that what extra you want to do with this module. What extra you want to. Today we will see what are the extras we will do with the. And did not see the yet argument. We will spend the time on argument. Apart from that, what is the very important? Every device they have TCAS radius authentication. So this module not only the integrate with the it's integrate with the authentication of for your device. That's another important. It means each and every device, if you're logging, you need the authentication. So it's going to integrate your authentication. At the last, after getting all this information, it will process with the compiler or the interpreter that is called Python interpret. That is a Python interpret. Okay, once it will process, it will give you the standard um standard error or standard. There's two things: standard error and standard output. So I already in Linux I explained you the input and output system. Please refer those video if you are not. So standard error and standard out is the you will get, and we will explain you in playbook, Ansible playbook, not in ad hoc command. Ad hoc command having limitation, and but there is huge of ad hoc command. So we will start from ad hoc, we will export in the ad hoc, then we will move in playbook, Ansible play. So actual power contained into the Ansible play. So this part clear, guys. So let's start one by one. So today we're going to study the modules. So before moving the modules, so first module you saw the ping module, right? First module you saw the ping module. So if you do the ping, you will get the response, success response as a pong. If you ping, you will get the success response as a pong. Let's do this quickly. Then we will move to the next module. Okay, what are the default module and what are the benefit of the default? After that we will see there is a module which I have to define, not it's a non-default module. Okay, so let's move the first example. We will see the default module. So last class we saw the first I will test with the Ansible stack, it's working or not with the loop back. So what will be that? So we have to go for module. How you have to define the module? First you have to follow the Ansible keyword, then inventory. Who will the inventory? I will use my loopback myself. This is my inventory. So inventory could be one IP, could be your class, or could be your group. Okay, so this is my inventory. Second, I have to follow module. Module will be hyphen a is called module, and I will ping. So ping by default yourself you are pinging. You don't need any authentication, and your ping is success. Okay, with yourself. Now let's ping with the my host. I want entire class, my all PC and server supposed to be. That's the power of automation. So we need something authentication. If you are pinging other system, you need authentication. So that's why we have to integrate the user and password, and let's see it's working or not. And last class we saw the challenge, and we have resolved the challenge. Do you remember, guys, this challenge? So first, how you going to resolve? Either you do the ping individual, get it done. What do you mean by that, Ashutosh? Let me show you. I'm going to do one by one device and create the fingerprint, because there is no, it's a only one time work. It's a only one time work. So this is your question number, right? You are failed to create them,
Right.
right? This is your, so host fingerprint is not there. So this is the first method from which you can create this. Okay, that is the 56.11. I'm creating the my fingerprint on this. So on this system called 56. So here the fingerprint of your, sorry, you have to individually SSH. You have to individually SSH, then only able to do this. So like SSH 192.168.56.11 at the rate, sorry, you have to do the user asu at the rate of followed with the server name. Now can you see this? So once you store this, so it's going to, it's only first time. Okay, now we are into the server. Now I'm going to exit with the server. Okay, if you do Ansible ping host, now you are able to see first device will be pass. So only one first device 192.168.56.11 will be success, remaining all are fail. So first time you have to do SSH, then only it's going to done by the Ansible. Okay, so what is another method, Ashutosh? Do I sit, suppose I have added the 500 device or 50 device or 20 device in the system. Each and every device I have to generate first time this, then only it's going to be success. No, there is a method called addition. You have to bypass this host key checking. This is explicitly going to ask by Ansible, I will not attempt through the automation. They're supposed to manually do first time. Once is the register, how many times you will play the Ansible, it's going to work. That's not an issue at all. Are you comfortable till here? So either do manually generate the key, SSH key by manually SSH, or you can bypass. How do you bypass? So I told you we have Ansible. How many components? We have components. There is etc Ansible. You can see there's something called Ansible CFG. So now this is a configuration file. You have to edit this file, or you have to edit. Everyone concentrate entire Ansible class. We have to play with the config file, but you should not modify. If you corrupt this file, you have to reinstall the Ansible. That's all. So better play with, otherwise reinstall this file. Okay, now let's see. I'm going to use, because if you use the cat command for viewing this file or editing this file, it's a huge, is a one time. So better you use more command. What is the more command? More etc Ansible. So it will show you the per page wise. So Ansible conf cfg. Now you can see this is benefit 5% of the config file it's showing. There is something called bypass. I want to bypass the features. You can see here, this is the way to study. Here is the class given. Under the class they explain the all the attribute in this file, and you can see the file attributions followed by the explanation and then file. Suppose I want to speed up my SSH timeout, I can decrease as a timeout as a not 10 5. In the real environment it's required for 10 seconds, but we are doing all the work in the lab, so we can keep his timeout 5. But I want, if it's a fail timeout, you just give me result as soon as possible. Okay, now so I will change this timeout. So how do you, this is the explanation what is, and this is the real command. Okay, so you can see the difference. In the command there is no space, whereas in the comments there is a space. So like that we going to do the other inventory. Enable here SSH key file. What is called SSH key file? Let's check it out. So we have display skip host, display Ansible manage host, Ansible vault file, private key file. Like that you have to search your key what you want to do. Private role variables, executions win, then modules name. That modules names, today we're going to study about the command modules. And the timeout SSH, we have to SSH key I want to, yes, can you see host key checking? So I have to enable this key. Okay, we have to enable this key. Let's do that. So you have to remember, by looking on this you can check your Ansible host key. I supposed to enable that and make it false. So once you make it false, it's going to be bypassed. Let's do that. So how we going to do this? By using the sudo vim editor. So what is my path? etc followed the Ansible, then Ansible CFG file. Okay, then followed the your password. Now insert your I command as insert. Now I'm going to check this. These are the inventory file. You can see here I'm changing with them. Be careful while you're changing. So this is gather timeout. Then we have for you're supposed to read every time. Now I reach to the host key checking. What I'm going to do here, you can see I just remove the uncommented. I remove the hash symbol. Once I will see remove the hash symbol, this is going to be color changed. It's going to be effect with this Ansible file system. Means your attribute of Ansible is changed. Now I told you I will change my timeout also. So let's change that. So I'm going to do, I will go for SSH. I will remove the hash symbol. It's a 10, but I want 5. So these are the registry. You can say like operating system having registry, you should not play with the registry. Same way you should not play with these files if you don't know. Okay. Now you escape. I don't want to any addition. So I have done the 2 addition. What are those additions? Okay. What are two things we have edited? The bypass the host key checking false I have done, and the SSH timeout reduced by the 10 to 5. Okay, clear? Let's do this. Now you run this Ansible ping pong module. What going to be happened? Let's see. Because earlier it was failed for 3 and passed for 1, for which we have generated. But now you can see all the 4 are passed. Let me get pause. If you have any query, you can ask me. So I'm going to stop recording here and we will start again recording. So we will see you in next class with the continuity with this.